Okay, so now let's see how you wanna recover your message signal from the sampled version. Okay, so here if you will see, I've made two diagrams. Okay, so this is your sampled signal XS of f, and you pass it through a low pass filter, which is also known as reconstruction filter, and you will get your original signal. So the frequency, this thing I have made in frequency domain, if you can see. So our XSF was like this. If you will follow the triangular function, the triangle function in Fourier domain. So the sampled signal was looking like this. This triangle was there in zero frequency, and it was repeating at every integer multiple of fs. So it looked like this. So this was our XS of f. So if you, and your low pass filters frequency will look like this. So between minus fm to fm, it is amplitude is 1, and it's in frequency domain, you can see. So if you pass this signal XS of f with the filter whose frequency response is hf, you will get x of f is equal to XS of f into h of f, which will look like this. So there are two things. First, when this signal goes through this filter, it is as if like has filtered this triangle out of this signal and showed here. Why? Because it is in minus fm to fm and its amplitude is 1. Similarly here also this point and this point was minus fm and plus fm, and amplitude will get multiply. So whatever was there, I guess 1 by ts was there. So this will be the signal you will recover, and we are mostly only interested in this part because this is our message signal, and rest all the part in the frequency domain are the replicas of this part. So there is no point of extracting these from the sampled signal. We will only interested in minus fm to plus fm, so that will recover our message signal. So that's how you will do recovery of your message signal from the sampled signal. You just pass the sampled signal through a low pass filter with this filter response, so you will get the message signal. Remember, this filter response will be only between minus fm to fm, or whatever the maximum frequency of the message signal will be, that is fm. So intentionally we have kept between fm to minus fm to fm, so that we can recover the message signal and we don't have to recover the replicas. So that's how you will do. So you can see I have made the this part in frequency domain. So the first thing was the recovery of signal. Second thing, you can see here I have multiplied these two signal, XS of f and h of f, and I got x of f. So this is because we are dealing this in frequency domain. You pass the signal XS of f with the filter h of f, at the output you will get h of f into XS of f, the multiplication of these two signals. If I would have showed you in this way in time domain, this is in time domain, so there will be a convolution at the output between those two signals. So it's difficult to imagine in time domain, that's why I showed you in frequency domain. It's easier for us to follow. So you can see the filter, how the filter acted upon the sampled signal, and we got our message signal. So that's how we do reconstruction of our message signal from sampled signal. Now we're gonna see how sampling theorem affects our reconstruction. Okay, so when you do the reconstruction of your message signal from sampled signal, now let's see how sampling theorem affects the reconstruction. So if you remember, this was the sampled signal XS of f, this is frequency domain, and these kind of triangles and their replicas we saw in the sampled signal. This is the frequency response of the sampled signal what we had, and the amplitude over 1 by Ts. So you can see the frequency axis, it is minus FM, FM, this is Fs, center part, Fs plus FM, Fs minus FM, this and this point. Similarly here, minus Fs plus FM, minus Fs minus FM. Okay, so and this is center point is minus Fs. Likewise it goes on and on in both the directions. So this was our sampled signal. Now we have to recover our message signal. So we are interested in this part. Just now we saw, if we will pass this signal from the low pass filter with HF frequency response, it will just extract out this triangle for us, and rest of the parts we are not interested in, and we will be able to recover the signal. So if you will watch carefully this signal and these 2 points, this is your FM and this is your Fs minus FM, this point. Now if you see this distance, Fs minus FM, which is this part, this point, is greater than FM, which is this point. You can see from this diagram, the way I have made it, Fs minus FM is greater than FM. That's what I have written. And if you rearrange the term, we will get Fs is greater than 2FM samples per second, which was same as something we saw in sampling theorem. Okay, so this is the point I wanted to mention here. So to recover this signal properly with the help of HF, this condition has to be followed. Okay, means this point should be greater than this point, means Fs minus FM should be greater than FM, which is, or Fs should be greater than 2FM, and that is somewhat related to sampling theorem, but equality sign is not there. So this is the case which is called as oversampling. Okay, we have kept Fs greater than 2FM, means it is called as oversampling, which is practically possible. Okay, this equation you can also write it as Ts is less than 1 by 2FM seconds. Okay, so this is my first case. As if now I just want to tell you this, I will go on each cases and finally I will summarize what I am trying to say. Okay, for right now you just have to see that this point is greater than this FM. So we got some condition like Fs is greater than 2FM, which was same as what we saw in sampling theorem, and this case is called as oversampled, and it is practically possible. Okay, so this is what I wanted to mention here. Now I will move on to second case. Now let's look up to the second part. This second part, this signal was same as before. Now I made this signal. You can see this is the same signal, but the distance between the replica and the main message signal has been reduced here, such that FM is equal to Fs1 minus FM. Fs1 here you can see these are integral multiple of Fs1, where Fs is greater than Fs1. This is your Fs and this is your Fs1. So this is something when this is kind of a signal when you will get when you will sample the signal XF at frequency Fs, and this is the signal you will get when you will sample the signal XF with the sampling frequency Fs1, where Fs is greater than Fs1. So this is the signal I got with higher sampling rate, and with less sampling rate I got this. Now here I chose Fs1 such that this distance was reduced to the same point, such that FM is equal to Fs1 minus FM. These 2 points will be similar to each other. Okay, and if you rearrange this, you will get Fs1 is equal to 2FM, which also we saw in sampling theorem. So the only difference I want to make in this case is, if I change the sampling frequency such that Fs sampling frequency is equal to 2FM, I will get this kind of signal. If I will keep the sampling frequency greater than 2FM, I got this kind of signal. So the only difference I can see is the difference between the replica and the main message signal reduced to 0. Okay, and in this case also, if you will pass this signal xs of f, this is your new xs of f. If you will pass this signal, the whatever your filter will extract out this part, because this is fm minus fm and this is plus fm. So it will extract out this part and you will be able to recover the signal. Okay, so that is what will happen. So if I'll try to merge the previous case and this case, basically fs is greater than equal to 2 fm. If you will sample the signal with this frequency fs greater than equal to 2 fm, either you sample it with 2 fm, in that case you will get this kind of signal, either you sample with the greater than 2 fm sampling frequency, you will get this kind of signal. In both the cases, if you will pass these two signals with the HF filter, you will be able to receive the original message XF. That's the point I want to mention here. So this signal is this one is this, and this one is this. Likewise, other parts will include here. So in both the cases, you are able to recover your original signal. So this is what we have learned in sampling theorem. Now my third case will make everything clear when fs is less than 2 fm. Okay, now let's say you have a third case where you do the sampling such that fs is less than 2 fm. So you will get this kind of signal as the sampled signal. You can see there is a difference between there is some difference between the replica and the main message signal, but here it is overlapping. So you can see fm is this point, this is point of a message signal, and this is the fs minus fm point of replica signal. So as if this point has gone beyond fm and it went here. So when you do the sampling less than 2 fm, this is the kind of sampled signal you will get. And the problem with this kind of signal is, when you put this signal to the input of low pass filter, you will get something like this. This will be your filter, and it will filter out this part of the signal. So the problem is, you are losing this signal, this shaded part of the message signal, which you don't want. You really don't want your signal to be corrupt or to be lost. You want your signal as it is, what you have sampled. So from here to here. But what is happening is, this small part, the region here, are getting corrupted by the replicas. Okay, so in this case you won't be able to recover the signal properly. Once you apply this signal to the filter input of the filter, you won't be able to recover this signal. Rather you will recover some corrupted part by the replicas. Okay, so you can see fm here, this point is fm and this point is fs minus fm. So this implies fm is greater than fs minus fm. You can see in the range fm is greater than fs minus fm, and fs is less than, if you will rearrange, fs is less than 2 fm, which you don't want. Okay, so in this particular case, third case, when fs is less than 2 fm, so you won't be able to recover your signal from the filter. Okay, that's why you avoid this range, fs is less than 2 fm. You always keep your fs such that it will be greater than equal to 2 fm. So because in this case, if you sample the signal following this equation, you will be able to recover your signal. So now what will happen if you sample with fs less than 2 fm? This is the problem, but what you will really recover, I will show you. Now still third case is going on. You can see this kind of signal, sampled signal, you will get when you do the fs is less than 2 fm. Okay, this is the kind of sampled signal you will get. So if you apply your filter h of f like this between fm to fm, you can see there is a lost part of the signal here. Okay, and you are not able to recover your signal, original signal, properly. So this is the kind of signal when you will get when these replicas will interfere in this part and this part of the message signal. Okay, so this is the signal, and clearly you can see if you will apply the filter, you won't be able to get your signal, original signal back. And this case of overlapping here, this part, you can see there is a overlapping which I showed you before. It's the part of overlapping, and this case is this phenomena is known as aliasing. Okay, I will write here aliasing, which is overlapping of repeated signal. When these two guys will overlap, these two guys will overlap, that is called as aliasing. And you avoid aliasing. You don't want to do this because you won't be able to recover your message signal, original message signal, from the sampled signal. That is why you avoid this situation. So next I will summarize what I am trying to say. Okay, so this is the summary of what I am trying to say in sampling theorem. So we had first case where fs is greater than 2 fm, second case fs is equal to 2 fm, and third case fs is less than 2 fm. So these are samples per second unit. First case is called oversampling, which is the practical case. Second case is critical sampling, which is ideally it is possible. And third case is undersampling, where aliasing occurs and we avoid this situation. Okay, so I showed you the example. This was the three sampled signal we will get for different type of sampling frequency. So if you sample your message signal XF greater than 2 fm, you will get this kind of sampled signal, and if you pass it through HF low pass filter, you will be able to get the signal back, original signal back. Similarly, fs equal to 2 fm, here also you will be able to get your message signal, original signal back when you pass this through HF filter. But the problem is we are calling it ideally because the filter we need here is sharp filter, means the edges should be really sharp, which is not practically available. But here in this case you can go lenient and your filter can be like this as well, like this. It does not have to be sharp because there is a difference between the original message signal and the replicas. So you can be lenient like this in the frequency band. So let's say this can be some fm plus some f dash. Here also minus fm minus f dash. Some extra width you can take here, but here it is not possible. Okay, here you have to be between minus f to plus f. There is a sharp transition, so which is practically not possible with the filter reconstruction filters. That's why you will be able to get your signal back, but it is really difficult, it is really costly. Like ideal filters, close to ideal filters if you make, it will be really costly. That is why this is the okay case and this is the best case. Whereas third case, if you will see, we don't follow because aliasing will occur, means overlapping of this message signal and the replicas will occur and you won't be able to get your signal back. So in these two cases you will be able to get your signal back, but in this case you won't be able to get your signal back. So I hope you got the meaning of fs is greater than equal to 2 fm, where fm you cannot control. This is the message maximum frequency of the message signal, but this fs you can control. Okay, so you have to sample the signal following this equation, So either you have to keep your TS as low as possible, 1 by TS is greater than or equal to 2 by Tm, and this is TS should be less than 2 by Tm. Okay, so I hope I made a mistake. I think 1 by TS 2 by Tm by 2. So this equation you have to follow. You have to keep your sampling interval or sampling frequency following this equation. Okay, so that's when what will happen. I've made a mistake, I believe. TS 1 by 2. Okay, this will be 1 by 2. So you have to follow this equation so that you will be able to recover your message signal. This is the Nyquist criteria, and I wanted to show you pictorially how this equation came. So that's what it is, and yeah. Now just to summarize, I have made a table: sampling theorem, the condition for sampling theorem, and the condition for aliasing. So just to when the condition for sampling was Fs is greater than equal to 2 fm samples per second, and T, or it can be written as Ts less than equal to 1 by 2 fm seconds. Okay, and the condition for aliasing is Fs should be less than 2 fm. Here it is greater than equal to, it is less than here, samples per second, or Ts is greater than 1 by 2 fm seconds. Okay, so this is the condition for aliasing, this is the condition for sampling. Now there are two new words I want to add here: Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval. So this 2 fm, this alone 2 fm is equal to called as Nyquist rate, and this is samples per second. And if you take 1 upon 2 fm, it is called as Nyquist interval, and that's in seconds. So this is Nyquist interval is time, Nyquist rate is frequency. Okay, so this 2 fm is sometimes called as like this, which is mostly used. Okay, remember, Fs was called as sampling frequency and Ts was called as sampling interval. Here this is Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval. Okay, 2 fm, 1 by 2 fm, which will be mostly used. Okay, now just a caution point I want to mention here about sampling theorem. So you might be convinced by now that Fs should be greater than equal to 2 fm, or more specifically Fs should be greater than 2 fm. But now here how much more Fs should be than 2 fm, that's what I want to show you here. So if you remember, our sample signal looked like this, and another signal I have made where the sampling frequency is way far greater than 2 fm. Here Fs is just greater than 2 fm, here Fs is very greater than 2 fm. Let's say Fs is some, here is equal to 1000 samples per second, and here let's say 100, or let's say 50. Fs is 50 samples per second. Okay, so you can see there is really no sense of taking Fs way greater than 2 fm if you are able to recover your signal in this case. So with Fs is equal to 50 samples per second, you are able to recover your original signal. So there is really no point of going very high value, going for very high value of Fs. Okay, so it's not like you since the condition satisfies that Fs should be greater than 2 fm, it's not like you go crazy and take value as far as possible. for as high as possible for fs. So you just have to remember that you have to take fs greater than 2 fm such that you are able to recover your signal. You don't have to go like really high value of fs. For really high value of fs, that will only change the difference between these replica and message signal. So this guy is this guy is this guy is this. So it is just, if you will go for higher value of fs, it will only increase the difference between these replica and message signal, where you are able to recover your message signal in this case as well. So there is no point of going for very high value of fs. Just make sure that you are able to get your message signal back. So that much difference you have to take. So that's the point I wanted to make. Don't go for very high value of fs if you are able to get your signal back with certain value of fs. Okay, so that's the difference I wanted to make here. Okay, so we'll move on. So till now what we saw, the technique for sampling was for low pass signals. Okay, now we're gonna see how you sample band pass signals. Okay, that's why band pass sampling is called. Now what is the difference between low pass and band pass signal? If you have a signal where origin is also a part of your signal, or the signal starts from origin, then you call it as low pass signal. If you don't have origin, or it does not start with origin, then you call it as band pass signal. Remember, you note here I have made the signal in frequency domain. Okay, f, x of f, x of f, f. Okay, so this is not sampled signal, this is your message signal, the Fourier transform of your message signal, xf, xf, f, f, and this is some signal, some value of signal. I have made it an example, and it is containing origin, that's why it is called as low pass signal. But this guy is not containing origin, so this is called as band pass signal. Now remember, whatever technique what we have learned till now is valid for low pass signal, and that is not valid for band pass signal. We are going to see how you sample the band pass signals. If you have this kind of signal where origin is not considered in message signal, then how you gonna sample it? Okay, till now what we have studied, Nyquist sampling theorem, that was valid for only low pass signal, that is not valid for band pass signal. Now we will see how you will sample this kind of signal. So okay, now we will do the band pass sampling. So you have, let's say, the sampling band pass signal, the frequency response is given like this. See, you can see 0 is not included in the frequency response, it is a high frequency signal. So it has a maximum value in the fh, that is called fh, maximum value in f, and then there is a minimum value in f where the function is defined, so that is called fh and fl. So if you want to calculate the sampling frequency, that is given by Nyquist rate is equal to 2 into fh divided by k. This is your fh, and k is defined as equal to fh divided by fh minus fl. This is fh, this is fl, this is, so you can calculate k, but k should be rounded off to precedent integer. What I mean, if k is equal to 3 or 2, which means if it is an integer, it is fine. But if k is comes out to be 1.34 or something, then we will take 1 precedent integer. Okay, so you can see the example. If fh is equal to 3 Hz and fl equal to 1 Hz, fh minus fl is equal to 2 Hz. So k will be fh divided by fh minus fl, that is 3 by 2, which comes out to be 1.5. So that is not an integer, that is decimal. So you will take the precedent integer, means which comes before. Okay, so 1 will be, you will take the value of k. So your Nyquist rate will be 2 into 3 divided by 1, 2 into fh divided by 1, so that is 6 Hz. So your sampling frequency, in this case band pass sampling frequency, should be greater than equal to Nyquist rate. That's what the meaning of sampling in this band pass signal is. So what I mean is, Fs, if sampling frequency will be greater than or equal to Nyquist rate, it means that you will be able to recover your original signal from the sampled signal in case of band pass sampling. Okay, so that's what it means. And where Nyquist rate, if you remember, for low pass signal was 2 FM, but here Nyquist rate is not 2 FM. Nyquist rate is 2 into Fh divided by K. So this is how you do sampling for band pass case. I won't be able to make you visualize band pass sampling, plus I won't be able to show you how this came, because I don't know it. I just knew the formula, how you do it, the sampling and all. And if you have a source you can look up to, but that's what I know. If you want to sample a band pass signal, that's how you do. The proof of it and how you visualize it means band pass signal, how it makes replicas, and so that part I am not aware of actually. So that is why I will exclude. Maybe you can refer some textbook, but whatever I know is this part. Okay, so just I am giving you the way to sample the band pass signal, but I don't know how it came. So better if you look up to some other resources, it's better if you want to go with proof. But that's what I just wanted to mention here, that there is a difference between low pass sampling and band pass sampling. The usual case is low pass sampling. This is sometimes happen when examiner wants to trick you into something. That's when teacher uses band pass sampling. That's what I have seen till now. But usual case is low pass sampling only. Okay, but when you come up with some high frequency signal or band pass signal, then that's the way you use it. That's the way you sample it. You cannot go by low pass sampling technique, or you cannot sample the low pass signal via band pass sampling technique. So that's the difference I wanted to make here. Okay, you can look up to the proof. I don't have it, I don't know it. So yeah, that's it.